Hi, welcome to the April reading of the Ocean Oracle. I'm Sue Marty, I'm creator of the deck, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in. This morning I realized, it is the middle of April, better late than never. And this morning I was down at the beach, and as sometimes is the case, a reading kind of presents itself. And that happened this morning, and so I wanted to share that with you. So the three themes, one was Sandpiper, persistence. That's kind of the overall theme. And then two, kelp, strength. That, I want to say that's informing the main energy of persistence. And then what's helping also is low tide reevaluation. So I'll do a quick reading of all of those and then see what comes from that. So the first card is Sandpiper, number 6, persistence. And the story is she sat on the beach facing the ocean, and she was having trouble finishing a project, and she felt like she wanted to throw it all away. Nothing made sense. She felt lost in it all, and she noticed a flock of sandpipers in front of her, chasing air bubbles in the sand that the waves left behind as the water receded back to the ocean. It was a frantic meditation, watching these birds scurry backwards and forwards and sideways, persistently scouring the sand for something of sustenance. It seemed silly to her as she watched that they did not fly above water, scouting food, or sit on the water to dive for food. But they chose this way. Somehow watching these birds helped her. She realized she was worried what others might think of her actions. She sensed that as long as she was persistent in pursuing what she was after, it did not matter how it looked to anyone else. The messages. Are you using all your abilities? Could you be using them differently? Is your persistence reaping the rewards and benefits you need, desire, or seek? Do not give energy to worrying about what others may think. It is ultimately up to you. With a clear focus, move your persistence towards your goal by whatever means nurtures and sustains you. Considering that most of the world is on lockdown at the moment and we're being inundated with all these ideas and information, that this is the time we should be pursuing our, things that we can't get done during normal life. And I don't know about you, but that's really kind of stressing me out a little bit. To think, here we are with this gift of time. Like, how often, never in our lives have we ever been given the, not the okay, it's not that so much as given the opportunity to actually stop and rest and pause and reflect on such a wide scale, and we're not alone in that, so like obviously we take time off and stuff, but so I think there can come with that a lot of pressure to make use of this time, make it productive, all those things, and it's not necessarily very helpful. So I think this is an interesting, but if there is something that you really want to be doing, this is a great way, a great card to support you in looking at what that is, and offering you that gift of persistence. And it doesn't have to look like anything to anyone else, as long as you're happy with it. And that's all that really matters. And so coming in to help that, or inform that, I guess, is strength, kelp. And let's have a look at that. So the story, the diver was tangled in the kelp. The long arms of the giant seaweed spread out in all directions, and he could not quite get clear of it, yet ultimately knew he was in no physical danger. He surrendered into the space and just flowed with its movement. He eventually followed one segment of the kelp down to where it was anchored. And as he did so, he noticed all the other arms anchored to this point as well. Down below the surface, this giant kelp was anchored to a rock, which in turn was held firmly by the ocean floor. The kelp entrusted the rock to provide a secure base so that it could extend itself outwards, feeding and growing in many different directions. It did not question the security of the rock, it simply had faith in its anchor. The safe anchor allowed for the kelp to follow its own path, gathering sustenance from its surroundings to nurture its well-being. The messages. Draw strength from a solid anchor and follow your thoughts, your travels, your life back to the base where you gather strength. No matter how tangled you get in your life, know there is strength there, lying just below the surface. Disentangle yourself with intent from the situation to see a clear path forward. The act of surrender may be your strongest option. Surrender into your heart space to gain the strength and clarity you need. And this is a beautiful, really kind of gentle reminder that going within and drawing strength. And sometimes where we draw strength from isn't from what's seen. It's not from the tangibles, it's from the intangibles. And with that persistence of the sandpiper, like if you can go into where your strength, like where you draw strength from, that's going to help you get through this time. And then 20, low tide, reevaluation. This, let's see, the story for this. Low tide. Plenty of room on the beach to walk. She wove her way down the path, watching her steps carefully, avoiding the potholes, the rocks, the pebbles, anything which might throw her off her path. When she reached the sand, she breathed deeply, smelling the salt air, taking it all in through her feet, through her body, up through her heart and head, and out along her outstretched arms. She breathed out, clearing her mind. She had been so unfocused lately, she did not have time to think. She had lost her direction. A situation had come up which rocked her. She knew she could not continue on how she was, and she could not go back. But she did not know how to move forward or in what direction to go. And she sat on the sand at the water's edge. As the water continued to recede, she threw her thoughts into the waves so they could be taken out to sea. She continued doing this until her mind cleared. She felt as if she were being washed afresh by the waves, better able to reevaluate her situation. This brought the necessary peace to enable her to gain clarity in her situation. And the message is, are you where you want to be? Is there a situation which needs to be looked at on the physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual level? What relationships need reevaluation? Take time to order or reorder your thoughts and options. It is vital to your being to take time necessary to clear your head. Through reevaluation comes new focus and direction. Like, how perfect is this card for what's going on right now? Hey, getting lots and plenty of time for reevaluation and time out. And as I said before, it's like, it's such a gift. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not diminishing the stress and anxiety and awful situations a lot of people would be finding themselves in right now. But if our base needs are housing, food, and our basic well-being is looked after, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that our base needs are being met, then being able to look at this as a gift of time and space, which we don't often get these days in this world. Like, I don't know about you, but I am certainly often saying, I'd just like to stop and get off for a while. So that card really gives us that opportunity to just reevaluate where we are. And I don't know, I think this combination of, sorry, I'm getting this red through the thing, of persistence, strength, and reevaluation. Like, we have everything within us that we need to get through this time. And if there are things, like if we're able to further some of those things that we've had on hold for a long time, it's a supportive time to look at those and maybe move them forward if you're in that space. So anyway, I wish you all well. I really hope you are keeping well, keeping safe, keeping healthy, and yeah, finding the strength and support that you need at this time. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I'm posting cards occasionally on my Facebook page, just kind of one-offs with the meanings there, so you can check that out, Ocean Oracle. And yeah, thanks again. Take good care.